Hi Flosstube, I'm Jade. Welcome to another edition of 310 Stitcher. This is the Flosstube 14th, I believe. Welcome. It's been a few weeks since I've been here, um, and I have a lot to show you today. So today I am going to show you my non-focus pieces. So those additional pieces that um, whether they get done in a week or not really depends on how much time I have left after I finish working on my focus pieces. I mentioned this in my last video. If you want to see what my focus pieces are, then check out my last video or my next video. I'm going to alternate going through the focus pieces and the non-focus pieces, just so I'm not showing you 30 pieces of work every time, and give a little bit of variety. Let's start with a quick thing actually with regards to my store. I am not sure if you saw my little short clip of a video a couple of weeks ago. I have transferred my Gumroad store to Etsy, and so my store name is Smoke and Ash Designs. Please check it out. There is a sale, 25% off sale, that goes until the 31st of this month. So if you're seeing this, I guess in the next day or two, go check it out. Today is the 29th, so there's only a couple of days left. Lots of things in there. So if you haven't checked out my store, I do full coverage. I've been charting full coverage designs, and they are a mix of photographs I've personally taken, mostly of historical sites around the world. So you'll see things like the Colosseum and this new art installation in Venice. It's called The Hands of Venice. So there's those photos, and then there are fine art pieces that are licensed through the Creative Commons, or they're out of copyright. So there's a lot of those, and then I have some AI generated pieces as well, and I'm working with a couple of artists to develop those. So there are different categories or different folders, so you can check out all of those separately if you want. And yeah, so again, Smoke and Ash Designs. That's all I want to say about that. The in terms of stash acquisition, I did get one pattern. Actually, I have another pattern, but I don't have it yet. But I did get one pattern. I saw this on a couple of people's floss tubes, and I couldn't resist. I am a Harry Potter fan. And there we go. It's called Prefect's Bathroom by Inspire Uplift. And that's inspireuplift.com. Anyways, that's not going to be a start anytime soon, because I'm having a hard enough time keeping up with my focus pieces. What else did I want to say before I get to other projects? I finally got around to totaling all of the stitches I did in 2023, and I was a little bit shocked by the number. Actually, I did 333,500 stitches last year. It's a bit shocking, and this year is going to be nowhere close to that. You may recall I was off work, so I wasn't working, and I spent and I wasn't able to do a lot of things, so I spent a lot of my time cross stitching. So this year, I don't know. I don't know how much I'll get done this year. Maybe if I get 200,000, I think I would be really happy. But we'll see. Okay. Thank you for coming to check me out. Whether it's the first time or the 10th time, or a 14th time, I really appreciate it. I did have a bit of an uptick in viewers in the recent past, so thank you so much for choosing to spend your time, your precious time with me. I really appreciate it. There's so much awesome content out there, and I really appreciate it. So let's move on. I'm going to show you how many pieces? 2, 4, 15 pieces. Actually, I'm going to show you 17 pieces. 2 of them actually are, I'm going to cheat a little bit, and 2 of them are mini faux, and those are actually, I put them in the focused category just because I want them to be, both of these things, to be complete by the end of 2024. So I did put them in the focus area, but they're not a focus from week to week. It's just once a month. So I want to show you, the first one I want to show you is my Flowers of the Month sale. So this was a free stitch along from 2010 on, I have to look her up. I can't remember her name now. Bear with me for 1 second. Because I always forget to look up her name, and that's not fair. So these were, so she released 1 flower per month, and her name is Ellen Maurer-Stroh, Maurer-Stroh. Like I said, that was in 2010. And my goal is to do 1 flower a month. So I'm on flower 5 because I started in October. This is the Lily of the Valley. It's about 3,500 stitches, so it took me 3 or 4 days to get this done. I like it. I quite like it in terms of what the whole thing looks like so far. So I'm starting on the second row, and I'm really enjoying it. So actually, not only did I do the flowers, but I also did, I'm almost complete this one and 1 more. I was sitting there one day and I didn't feel like pulling anything else out while I was watching TV, so I just got, and I had the thread with me, so I just got motivated to do some more boxes. Okay, and number 2 mini finish is my Tarot stitch along, and so this was by Witch's Garden Crafts. This was a stitch along for 2022, I believe, and there's the whole thing. Everything is backwards and I can't quite figure it out. There's the whole thing. And so the 2 that I finished are these 2 here. So the Wheel of Fortune and Justice. I have not done any of the names. I've been sort of thinking about, because I tried a couple of times and I did not like how it was coming out. So I'm thinking I'm gonna wait until I finish. I'll wait until I finish all of them, and then I think I might use Kreinik for a little bit of flash. We'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna try it out. Anyways, those are my two mini finishes for the month of January. And I don't have to worry about those for a couple more days. Okay. I'm going to warn you that we're going to go on to my other WIPs. I'm going to warn you that there isn't a ton of stitching on each of these WIPs, and most of them have not been stitched on for the past 2 weeks, so the progress you're going to see is from the 2 weeks before that, except for one project, which was a new start recently. There isn't a ton of stitching on these. Like I said, I've with working full time now, I've had and just being a little bit busy on the weekends, I haven't had a ton of time to stitch, and I've been barely making it through my focus pieces. In fact, this past week, I got through all of them except for one. So this week I'm starting with that one and working my way down the list. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, all right, the first project I will show you, and I have my notes down here, so I apologize if I'm looking down. Okay, so this was the new start a few weeks ago. This is Mountain Cabin by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is what it will look like. The artwork is by Dominic Davidson. And I put in, so far, 2,371 stitches. So I don't think you saw this at all previously. So we're just starting in the sky. The confetti is not so bad so far, but I'm sure once we get to the trees and stuff, it's going to be brutal. I just have a feeling. I'm going to mark these off as I show them. Okay, so the next one I want to show you. Oh, speaking of confetti, this is another Haid, Heaven and Earth Designs. It is Birds, Butterflies, and Blooms World Map by Amy Stewart. And I am still on the first page. This page is never ending. There we go. I only put in 255 stitches, and that takes me so much time. Oh. Do you guys just come up with this? There's random floss everywhere. I have no idea what that is, so what a waste. But anyway, yeah, it's taking forever. The confetti is insane on this, and a lot of the whites and the creams are so hard to see. It's hard to find some of the ninja stitches, and I'm just dying to finish this page because when I move on to my new method of doing it, I think it will be a lot easier and a lot quicker. But right now I'm just stuck in confetti hell. I really need to finish this. I love this project so much, but man, this page has just been so brutal. I can't wait. It's beautiful, but man, so much. So that's only been 255 stitches, and that took me many hours because of the confetti. Okay, the next project I want to show you is a project by Paint Free Crafts. This is the fortune teller. It's not a great photo because my printer was almost out of ink. So this is Fortune Teller by Lou LaBelle, or Luciana LaBelle, again by Paint Free Crafts. And I am in the top, kind of got to her bandana there, as you'll see in just a minute. So that's three pages across here. Here's her bandana, the beginning of her bandana. And I've just started on the page below just because I want to finish before I move the Q snap again. I'm gonna finish these 3 pages, and if I can fit another, which I think I can, another 3 pages below, I might as well fill up the Q snap before I move on. I love this project. Again, it's very bright and colorful. There's so many colors in here. Absolutely love it. I absolutely hated the confetti though. Again, because of the way that I was working on it before. I just realized I'm missing a Q-snap piece. The way I was working on these before is I was just color completing, and I've decided not to do that because the number of ninja stitches that you end up with is just brutal, and I hate just how long it takes to do all of those. So I'm now what I'm doing is I pick a thread color and I go until I fill up as much as I can with that one thread color. Then I go back up to the top, pick another thread color, and go. That way the top all gets filled in. And although you get to some of the bottom as well, it's just easier. You don't end up with confetti all over the page. It's mostly in the area that you're working on. So like that. What have I done? I've done 413 stitches. Mostly, well, it's all of this because the last time you saw it, I had just done the three pages. And I have to find that Q-snap piece. I don't know what happened to it. Okay, I'll put that down there. That was fortune teller. Okay, the next piece I have to show you is Foxglove Ball. I will put a picture in here of what that will look like. And Foxglove Ball, I only put in 200 stitches into this one. So still working away at it. I love the blues. Not crazy about the light blues just because it's a bit difficult to see. I have not been telling you the fabrics that I've been working on. Oh well, I think this one is a 25 count, if I'm not mistaken. Even weave. I remember. The BBB map is 28 count, even weave fortune dollar is 25 count, and mountain cabin is 25 count as well. Pretty sure. All right, so that's Foxglove Ball. Like I said, I've only done 198 stitches on that one. I love this picture. You'll see it. Hopefully you'll have seen it by this point. But I love it, and I found someone else who's working on it as well with me, and now I'm blanking on the name. Damn it. If I remember, I'll put it below. I'm totally blanking on who it is. Okay. The next one is on 25 count Ada, and it is Magic Study. So this is that stiff Ada that stands by itself, and I have put in 593 stitches on this. It's not too bad. but there should have been, you know, 3 times more than that done by this point. But that's okay. So this one is also taking me a long time. And there's a couple of reasons. Well, one major reason. So I use Markup RXP. And I was using, as you can see, the Royal Rose method on this. I had gone all the way across the Royal Rose method. And my iPad died. And it didn't keep the progress. So because I had done the Royal Rose and I had gone all the way across, you know, marking off what was complete was fine on when I replaced my tablet. So it's fine. I know that those were all complete. But these are all hanging and I have no idea what they are. So it's very, very slow going, trying to go through and find them all. And then, and I'm just doing one at a time. I was thinking, and I mentioned this last time, that I was just going to do this full page first and then work my way back over that way. I don't know. I think it's going to be, I think I may do a little bit of each. But the other problem is that I had also started to work in the threads over here. And so there is some of this that's been done as well, but it's not showing as a completed stitch in Markup RXP. So it's very frustrating and very, very slow going, which is unfortunate because I really love this project and I really want to get some progress on it. But very, very slow going, and I can't work on it when I have a migraine. I have to be, or I'm fuzzy headed. I have to have a very clear head to work on this. Yeah, and the Ada again is that rough, feels almost plasticky Ada, and I keep trying to scrunch it, but I'll just suck it up and keep going with it, I guess, because I don't feel like taking it out and washing it and then having to regrid the whole thing again, like I did with Deanna and Cupid. Yeah, it would be a different story if I had gridded with fishing line or something, or the hollow shimmer. But anyways, that's that. And that is Magic Study. All right. I'm just putting stuff underneath my desk. And I have projects here and projects over here. All right, next one. Okay, so this one. Oh, interesting. I was going to say, is this not one of my focus projects? But it's not, even though I love it to death. And this is my Grand Library. It's another Paid by, oh, did I say, sorry, the Magic Study that I just showed you is by Rose. The artwork is by Rose Con and it was charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's not the limited edition, it's the rainbow version. This one is the Grand Library, regular size, regular color, also by Amy Stewart. And it's a Haid Grand Library. And I've done 747 stitches here on the second page. Again, should be 3 times more than that, but I haven't been able to get there. This is being done on 25 count even weave. Love it, love it. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not 25 count. It's 23 count. 23 count even weave. It's a little bit bigger. So this one, okay, so 23 count. So my other 23 count project is my Dragons of the Sabbat, which I'll show you next time. And in order to get a good coverage on that one. I'm doing it 10 stitch, and I'm doing three strands over 10 stitch on that one, and the coverage is pretty good. You still see a little bit of white, but not too bad. And I'm hoping that, you know, when I wash it, it'll fuzz up a little bit, right, and fluff up a little bit and fill up more of that space. So I'm not worried about it. This one, I had started working on it up in this corner. I'd started working on it 1/1 full cross. The coverage was okay. It wasn't great. There was still too much white that I saw. So I moved to, you know, I did kind of like this much of the corner, and then I decided I was going to try 2/1 half cross. But because I started with full cross, my half crosses had to go in the same direction as the second leg of the full crosses, right? So that everything would be, so it wouldn't look weird, right? Which is the opposite of what I normally do with my half crosses. So there was a bunch back and forth, because I kept forgetting, and then I kept getting confused, and then I decided, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to do my normal half crosses. And it's just up in the corner, so it shouldn't be too bad. So I started doing half crosses the other direction, which I know is not great, but I thought, you know, in the grand, this is going to be pretty big, right? So in the grand scheme of things, it shouldn't be too bad. But then I still wasn't crazy about some of the coverage. Like, you could still see some of the white in there, and I really didn't like it. I really like a full look. So I have gone back to full cross, but I'm doing 2/1 full cross, and that's just making me happy. So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting the nice coverage in through here, and I'm just really enjoying that. So it's going to take longer, obviously, because I'm doing full cross, but I've decided, you know what, that makes me happy, and it's not a race, so I'm just going to do what I enjoy doing, and what makes me the happiest with the final product, because I do love this project. So I want it to look good. I want it to make me happy. So that's what I'm doing with this one. Did I tell you I did 747 stitches? I think I did. All right, so that's the Grand Library. Put that back in this bag. Okay, I'm just gonna take another sip of my coffee before it gets cold. All right. The next one I have to show you. So this one is from Cottage Studio. It is gigantic. I believe the artwork is by Abraham Hunter. A couple hanging threads there. Not sure why. This is being done on 28 count gridded fabric. This is Fairy Tale Cottage. I'll put a photo in here of what it's going to look like. So we're, I don't know, maybe halfway down that page. These light blue colors that are in there are hard for me to see and differentiate whether it's a stitch or whether it's just the fabric. So I have to wear my magnifiers for that. But I'm glad I finally got into some reds and oranges and some of the deeper colors. What have I done? 229 stitches. So not a ton. And this is one that, again, I'm trying to fill in from the top and work my way down as opposed to color completing the whole page. I have just the rest of it all bundled up like that. Okay. Nope, that's a focus piece. Okay. Now we're on this side. Okay, so this one is Daydream Lions. It is a Heaven and Earth design. The artwork is by Sheena Pike, and I'm still stuck on this page. I've put 282 stitches. Again, should be at least 3 times more than that. But I have filled in more of here and more over here. There's so much, like this was just confetti hell. So it's very slow going. So I've been alternating between some of the not really bulk stitching, but more than just 1 or 2 stitches, and then going back to the 1 or 2 stitches. So this one is really slow going. I'm hoping to get to a point with this one where I'm like past that first page and to a point where there's a little bit more bulk stitching. That would be great, so that I can feel like I'm actually getting somewhere as opposed to just working you know, looking the same all the time. That would be really great. That one is being done on 28 count, I believe. I don't think that really matters to you guys, but 25, 28, all the same. Okay, so this one is a Halloween piece, the one and only Halloween piece that I have so far. This is another Heaven and Earth Designs. It is Scaredy Cats. I just blanked on the name of the artist. I can't remember. Anyway, I'll put a picture here of what it looks like. This is where I am. I am still not finished this page. I'd really wanted to finish it before the end of the year, but I just didn't get to it. This project, I really love this project because it is a nice mix of bulk stitching and confetti, and I'm in quite a bit of confetti here, which is fine, but it's just taking me longer than I would like. And what have I done? I have done, it's on the next page, 574. 574 stitches all in this piece here. So hopefully by the time you see it next time, that will be complete, because it looks like there's only a couple hundred stitches left, maybe 250 stitches left. So hopefully by the next time you see it, that page will be complete and I'll have started on the following page. This is being done on 23 count even weave. Okay. I mark that off just so that I'm keeping track of my stuff here. Okay, the next one was a recent start. I think I started this before the new year. Pretty sure. This is being done on 26 count even weave. Don't have much done. That's it. Just the top, or I wrote down Ada there, but the tag says even weave, so I don't know. Kind of feels like Ada. It's very starchy. anyways, I did 147 stitches on this, so just finished filling in that 30 by 20 block. And yeah, 147 stitches. So a long way to go with that one. And hopefully I put in a picture so that you can see what it looks like. Pardon me as I look down here. And this one I didn't write down how many I did. Bear with me for one moment, please. This is Gamer Nouveau. I'm also doing it on 23 count. And also haven't done a ton there. Come on, come on. So I have an issue here with, you can see the two different colors. So it's the same, I just ran into color variation from batch to batch. I could not find the where I put the floss, so I picked the same color from my stash, and it's slightly different. So this one is on pause until I get floss that I will keep for just that, and use for just that, because that is quite a bit of color difference. So I'm not going to rip it out. I'm just going to carry on because, again, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be pretty big, so it shouldn't show too much. Okay, when the whole thing is completed. All right, Pompeian Lady. This is a Heaven and Earth design. It is a mini. I don't remember who the artwork is by. I'll put a picture in here of what it's going to look like. And this is what it looks like so far. That's the whole width of the thing, so it's pretty narrow. And this one has the same issue as Magic Study, where my iPad or Markup RXP lost a whole bunch of progress. So both the where the parked threads are, as well as some of the actual stitching, is lost. So it's very slow going, which is really frustrating for me, because I would like to get this moving and get more progress on it. I feel like this has gone very slow. And it has, but again, it's because every time I work on it, it's really slow. Like, I get a thread and, like, to decide, I have to figure out whether I just made a mistake, if the stitch is filled already, or whether that's the actual color, and did I park these in the right spot? I have to double check the colors. So it's just super slow. I've done 385 stitches, and that took me way longer than it should have. Way longer. All right, let me mark that one off. Okay. This is one of my patterns, so you will see this. You can find this in my shop if you're interested. The artwork is by Amanda Church, and it is one of the pieces that she made and edited with AI, and it is called Goddess of Earth. Well, that's what I named it. She doesn't have names for her pieces. And I'm doing all the 3371 first so far anyways. And then I will go in and fill in the rest of the colors. So it looks pretty boring so far. What I have done is 241 stitches. So that's what that looks like. I will have put a picture in here if I didn't do that already. And like I said, you can find that in my shop if you're interested. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece. Okay, just a couple more. Okay, so this one is called Zeuss's Wrath, and it is a pattern by Kaylee Tenstitch on the sewing shop.com, and I'll put a picture in here of what it looks like. And this is what it looks like so far. So this one is, as you'll see from the picture, it's pretty, why can't I ever get this? It's because it's all backwards to me. There we go. It's all, there's not many colors. I can't remember how many there is, but not very many colors. So this is being done on 27 count even weave. And I did 275 stitches. I don't think I said that. Okay. It's that one. All right, one over here. So this is Maxine. It is a Heaven and Earth design. I'll put a picture in here of what it looks like. And this is what it looks like right now. This one, all my pieces I start from the top left. This one I actually started from the top right. I'm not sure why. I just did. This one is nice, easy stitching. There's quite a bit of block stitching. So I like it. I love the bold colors. And what have I done in this one? 381 stitches. It's not when I pull out when I just need some easy stitching, and I've finished my quota for the week on dragons. Okay, so that was that. I said it was 381 stitches. It is, yeah, it's 25 count, that one. 25 count even weave. All right, one more in here, which somehow I missed. Bear with me for just a moment, please. That's weird. I am missing, oh, here it is. It fell on the floor. Okay, this one is another one of my patterns. And again, you'll find it in my shop if you're interested. I'll put a picture in here. It is called Moto Santa. And that's what it looks like so far. And I did 821 stitches in this. And it is on 27 count even weave. I've started writing it down here because I can't remember that's what it looks like. So I did 821 stitches, still working on that first page. But again, I haven't been working on that for the past couple of weeks. And that is all of them. I just showed you 19 projects. What are we at? We're at 45 minutes. Okay. What else did I want to say? Yeah, so as I said earlier, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting to these ones, especially this week. So the previous weeks, so normally I have no problems. So 3 out of the 4 weeks in a month, I have no problems getting through my 6 or so focus pieces, and then actually doing some of the other ones, like the ones that I've showed you, which are my non-focus pieces, at least some of them. And so what I've been doing is I've alternated weeks. So one week I'll start from I have my spreadsheet, right, that has all of my projects in alphabetical order. So the first thing I do is do my highlighted focus pieces. I get those done, and then I move to the non-focus pieces, again in alphabetical order. But what I do is one week I'll start from the A's and work my way downwards, and then the next week I'll start from the Z's with Zeuss's Wrath and work my way backwards. That way, at least every 2 weeks, every project will get touched. The past couple of weeks have been rough. They've been really busy. Work has been quite busy, and on the especially the past 2 weeks. So this past week I also did the flower of the month because we only had 1 week left, so I wanted to make sure that I got it in before the end of the month, and that took 3.5 days to complete that flower. So that's why I didn't even get through all my focus pieces. I got through all of them except for one, which is Deanna and Cupid. And then the week before I did the tarot cell, the 2 cards, because again I wanted to make sure I got through those by the end of the month. And again, that took a couple of days. So I got through all the focus pieces, but I didn't get through anything else. So that's why there's only a couple hundred stitches. Well, okay, to be fair, I did do Mountain Cabin, which is almost 2,400 stitches, and Grand Library was almost 800 stitches. So there are some that I've done a few hundred. For me though, I really like getting a lot of progress. Just getting 100 or 200 stitches doesn't seem like very much to me, and it's a bit frustrating because I'm used to doing a lot more than that. But I have to give myself grace because, again, the conditions are not the same as last year, and I am working full-time now, so I'll have to give myself some grace. But that is a little frustrating for me. It's a bit frustrating for me, not gonna lie. So far though, I have to say, I thought maybe I would be missing some of the other projects that I have temporarily UFO'd for this year. So far I haven't. I've been pretty good with just like, I'm really motivated to get through my focus pieces. I'm trying to keep my eye on the prize there, and get through those. I'm really, really enjoying doing those. Even Dragons of the Sabbat, which is just all black. I know some people look at it and go, I can't believe you're doing all that black. But and some days when I'm working on that one, I almost fall asleep. I almost fall asleep. Because it can get really boring, but I do try to do it while I'm watching TV. So I've been binging Grey's Anatomy on TV. I never saw it the first time it came around. So I'm enjoying that. It's just light TV. Um, and you know, I've been enjoying that and not, I don't have to pay attention to either the TV or my stitching, so it's really good for that. Or if I'm just sitting there, watching the football game with my husband, I work on that. Um, yeah, so that is that. That's all the stitching related things. Life by in terms of life. Just been working, just trying to um, get through work and uh, manage with the migraines and whatnot. Um, but yeah, that's really about it. I'm still participating in some games. I've been working on the shop quite a bit, so if you haven't checked it out in the past couple of weeks, check it out. I have a whole bunch more charts in there, and I have a whole lot of I have so many charts that are just waiting in the wings for me to chart up. But it does take some time because I do um, it's not just a matter of pushing a button and charting it. I actually do go through and make some edits and try to get rid of um, some of the confetti stitching where there's just one or two stitches in a page. That drives me crazy, so I try to eliminate those. And also, when I'm charting, um, trying to find the right size for the for that project has been takes a little time as well because um, just trying to find the right combination of colors and size of the piece. um, it's a bit of a fine art. um, I don't want you don't want too many colors, but at the same time you also don't want that you don't want things to be too blurry or just finding that fine line does take quite a bit of time, and I work hard. A lot of my pieces you will find that there are a lot of colors in, and the reason is because I just want them to look as good as possible, and they really do look great with over the over the 100. A lot of pieces have 150 colors to 200 colors, and that's because they really do benefit from those colors. If you have a I if you have a piece, by the way, or if there is a piece that you want it to be bigger or you want it to be charted for a different count, um, or you just want a different size, you want it to fit a different or a piece of fabric that you already have, let me know. I'm happy to work with you. I have worked with one person to do that, to rechart it for her. So that's not a problem at all. Or if you have a piece, a photo or something that you would like charted, I'm happy to do that as well and work with you on that. Anyway, that is that's it. That's it. That's all. Next couple of weeks, um, I'll be back in about 2 weeks, and I will show you my focus pieces, which I've put a ton of work into. So that's where most of the stitching gets done, and I'm excited about how quickly those are moving forward. I'm really, so far anyways, I'm really enjoying those and really enjoying seeing the progress. So on that note, I think that's it for now. Let me know if you have any questions in the description box below. Check out my store. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram, I am 310 Stitcher on Instagram as well. On Facebook, I was going to say Facetube. On Facebook, I'm Jade Indigo. I do have the 310 Stitcher as well on Facebook, but I never really use it. Most of the time, the majority of the time, I'm just using my Jade Indigo um, group. That's what I'm doing all my stitching groups with, and my games, stitching games with. So um, check me out there if you're interested. Okay, so until the next time, my friends, stay safe, stay happy, happy stitching, and we'll see you soon.